shift. But I play a weekly tabletop RPG, which stands for role-playing game. So basically, 4 of my friends come over every Tuesday, and we do something that's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, but it's not, and I'm a little bit snooty about that. So we're all graduate students, so this is a really good opportunity for us to come together and tell stories about something that's not science and relax and be happy. But also because we're all graduate students in the sciences, we have to go to a lot of research talks. And what that looks like for anybody who's not familiar, is a professor comes from a different university and talks at length about the science they do. But for some reason, none of them know how to use their own personal computers or like operate a lapel mic or a laser pointer. And one night at game, because of this shared experience of seeing a lot of these, I started acting out what it would look like if a werewolf gave one of these seminar talks. So it was a lot of like, which is, sorry. But basically it's evolved into all of us howling like wolves for about a minute, which sounds ridiculous, but somehow it was like the most glorious, like beautiful moment of like a while for me, and I wasn't even particularly sad, or in general, sorry, but somehow this was like the most blissed out that I had felt in a long time, and I was really curious as to why howling with my friends would make me feel like this, so I did some research into it. I read about, the classic examples of group howlers, wolves, and what I learned is that people who study the behavior of wolves don't think that they do it to be spooky, right? Like it's kind of a classically spooky sound. But wolves only howl when they feel really good about like the safety and security of their pack. When they howl, they're saying, we're here, and we feel really good about it, and we don't really care if you think we're spooky, which really resonated with me, because that is kind of how I felt when we did this like weird, goofy howling thing at game, was being like, oh, we're here, and we feel really good about it, and we don't really care if our neighbors think we're like incorrigible dorks. But the thing about this is that it doesn't work as well when you do it by yourself, which is another thing that I had to look into. And that's because humans are really, really social creatures, right? So when we are with other people, like if you see a movie with other people, if I see a movie with other people, I'm like, ha ha ha. Whereas if I watch it by myself, I'm more of a like, girl, and that's because we perform emotions more when other people are around, which tricks us into feeling them more intensely. And also, we're really evolved to mimic other people's emotions. So you get kind of caught in this feedback loop, right? Where feeling emotions with other people makes them feel way more intense, right? This works for good emotions and for bad emotions. And we seek out situations like this all the time, actually. So I am fast, but so one of these, I think, is like tabletop RPGs, right? Like it's fun to make up goofy stories about yourself as an elf, but it's much more fun if there are other people to share that with and to make jokes with. Yeah. And I think a good example that more people might relate to is concerts, right? Like the sound quality is way crappier than at home, but we seek those out because we're sharing something we love with other people who love it, even if we don't know them, and it intensifies the experience. So the day after this howling thing happened at my RPG, I went to Ignite 38, which was at the Boulder Theater. And a lot of us go to Ignite for this group emotion experience too, I think. But also, these crowds tend to be like very game for stuff, very like eager to participate.